Man, well, for starters, man, I want to wish all my subscribers and everyone else around the globe, man, a happy New Year's, man, and I wish y'all many more. Definitely want to reach out to my subscribers that took time out to watch all my YouTube videos on the topics that I talk about and give my strongest takes about. And I appreciate it, man. I surely appreciate that. What's going on, Mr. Good Bread? Welcome to the chat, man. Hit the like button on my video if you don't mind. Hit the like button on my video. And my topic of this morning is I'm starting to like Nikki Bella a little more. I'm starting to like Nikki Bella a little more, man. And another thing, just in case if you ain't know, if anybody else ain't know, I used to be a huge fan of the Bella twins back in the day. Like over a decade ago, like in 2008, I was a huge fan of the Bella twins. When they debuted, I became a huge fan of the Bella twins, whatnot. So, but anyway, so when the Bella twins debuted in 2008 with Carlito and Primo, they went on their own as a tag team. So you know what I'm saying, the Bella twins grew on me, and I became a huge fan of the Bella twins. But later on down the line, like around 2011, 2012, the Bella Twins got faded. I mean, the Bella Twins, you know what I'm saying, character got still. I couldn't get behind them like that no more. So I stopped being a huge fan of theirs like that. But I didn't stop like liking them all together. I still didn't have a dislike for them, but I wasn't big on them like I was back in 2008. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm starting to like Nikki Bella a little more. I'm starting to like Nikki Bella a little more now. I'm actually digging her heel character. She's actually been doing pretty good in my book. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I mentioned if Nikki Bella, and don't get me wrong, I love me some Stephanie Valkyrie. Stephanie Valkyrie is one of my favorite female wrestlers. Although fans have turned on her since she's became Women's World Champion, but I haven't. I definitely haven't. I haven't. But so yeah, I definitely haven't turned on Stephanie Valkyrie for sure. But anyway, Nikki Bella. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to like Nikki Bella a little more now. I'm starting to like Nikki Bella. I'm digging her heel character. I'm digging the heel character. She's actually been quite interested in watching my book. I know other fans will probably disagree with that, but I don't care what the other fans think. I speak my mind. I speak my own mind. I don't care what the other fans have to say. I'm not on the trend. Okay, okay. Well, to each his own, man. To each his own. You know, like I said, we all can agree to disagree. You ain't a fan of Stephanie, she's overrated you. That's cool. I happen to be a huge fan of Stephanie, so hey man, we all can agree to disagree. So that's cool. But but back to Nikki Bella. I'm starting to like Nikki Bella a little more. I'm digging her heel character. She's been doing the damn thing. She's definitely been doing the damn thing. And that's why I said if Nikki Bella happens to win the women's world title, I ain't got a problem with it. Like I said, if Nikki Bella wins the women's world title, I ain't tripping. Although she didn't, but if she would have won that women's world title, she would have cooked as the women's world champion. Because look at her heel character. She already has her own podcast. She has her own podcast, and she can go on her podcast with the women's world title bragging about how she, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, paved the way for all these new female wrestlers in today's era that's currently wrestling. She could hold that title and say how, she paved the way for all these today's female wrestlers in the women's division today and bragging about the women's world title. She would have cooked, and then eventually they could book Liv Morgan to dethrone her for the women's world title, or Raquel can dethrone her finally because she didn't pin Raquel. Stephanie didn't pin Raquel, she pinned Nikki Bella. So let's say if Nikki Bella would have won, that would have been a bad choice. Although I know the fans would have been bitching it up because Nikki Bella won, and a lot of fans don't like Nikki Bella. Well, my well 50% though. The other 50% don't have a problem with her. Nikki Bella got good promos. Yeah, her promos ain't bad. Exactly, her promos are not bad. This is why I'm talking about. I'm digging Nikki Bella's character. I'm starting to like Nikki Bella a little more. Notice I've been posting pictures of her on Facebook lately. So yeah, man, Nikki Bella's starting to grow on me a little more. No, Nikki Bella has grown on me a little more. You said Nikki should have won. Hey, that wouldn't have been a bad call. I know that. Because if Nikki could have won the women's world title, you know what I'm saying? That would have been it wouldn't have been a bad call. And then, like I said, she has her own podcast on YouTube. If she can go on her podcast on YouTube with that women's world title, bragging about that women's world title, saying how she paved the way for all these today's female wrestlers in the women's division, and saying how they're gonna put some respect on her name as the women's world champion and stuff like that. And although some fans try to make it look like I turned on Stephanie Valkyrie or some shit like that. Man, look, come on now. No, nobody turned on Stephanie Valkyrie. So no, that's why, man, I don't communicate with a lot of wrestling fans. Everybody want to hate because they don't want Nikki to win the title. Man, fuck out of here. I like Nikki Bella. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Know what I'm saying? They could get a triple threat match between Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and Roxanne Perez at WrestleMania 42 for the women's world title. That would be best for business because, like I said, if you could get Raquel to dethrone Nikki Bella for the women's world title, definitely wouldn't be a bad call. Nikki Bella, Liv Morgan turns on Raquel. She turns on Raquel. You know what I'm saying? And then you mean Raquel? You said Rachel. You misspelled her name, man. You misspelled her name. So yeah, Liv Morgan turns on, or how they could do it is because Roxanne wants to win the title too. Roxanne wants to win the title too. So I thought about a triple threat match against all three of them at WrestleMania 42 for the women's world title. Yeah, you said Rachel. You misspelled the name wrong. You said Rachel. Oh, who the hell is Rachel? But anyway, so yeah, we get that triple threat match: Liv Morgan versus Raquel versus Roxanne at WrestleMania 42 for the women's world title. That will cook because Roxanne wants to win the title too, but she also wants the women's IC title. She also wants the women's IC title. So trying to figure out how I could do this because all three of them in the Judgment Day and they want to win the title. But we know Liv Morgan is going to turn on Raquel. So what I'm thinking is Roxanne could turn on the Judgment Day and realize that that all of them was using her, including Liv Morgan and Raquel, just so they could build the numbers up. So Liv Morgan turns on Raquel because she didn't want her to win the title. And Roxanne can turn on the whole Judgment Day because she can feel like they had been manipulating her the whole time and wanted her to join the group so they can, you know what I'm saying, build a numbers game. And she puts Liv Morgan and Raquel on notice that she's coming for the women's world title as well. So you could play that up into a story going to WrestleMania. All three of them are at each other's throat. You know what I'm saying? Book it like that. And there it is. We got Liv Morgan versus Raquel Rodriguez versus Roxanne Perez at WrestleMania 4042 for the Women's World title. That's how you could book it. But yes, I want Liv Morgan. I definitely want Liv Morgan to win the Women's Royal Rumble this year at the 2026 Women's Royal Rumble. You know what I'm saying? I definitely want that to happen. It needs to happen. A lot of people saying Bianca Belair might be the obvious choice to win. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, Lord Wilder? Welcome to the chat, man. But nah, I want Liv Morgan to win the Women's Royal Rumble this year. She should win it. If Raquel wins the title, Liv Morgan wins the Women's Royal Rumble this year. And then what happens is Liv Morgan turns on Raquel eventually for the Women's World title. That's how they can do that. That's how they can do that. So when they face off, like I said, then Roxanne Perez can eventually figure out that the Judgment Day has been using her the whole time and brought her into the Judgment Day so they can fulfill the numbers game. You know what I'm saying? They can do that. And the person who I would want to win at WrestleMania 42 for sure in that women's triple threat match is Liv Morgan. That's how they should do it. That's my opinion. That's how they should do it. But like I said, man, back to Nikki Bella. I'm starting to like Nikki Bella more now. I'm starting to like her more. People can hate on Nikki Bella all they want to, man. Nikki Bella has been doing the damn thing as a heel. And shout out to Lil Wallet. I'm glad you're in the chat, man. You the reason why I'm doing this video, my guy. Although I was gonna do a video about Nikki Bella anyway. But shout out to Lord Wallet. Um he's he's the reason he said himself that Nikki Bella, he likes Nikki Bella character. And we both agreed on the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I like Nikki Bella a little more now. She growing me a little more. And people hating, talking about they didn't want her to win the title and all that. I'm like, man, it wouldn't been a bad call. And some try to make it look like I turned on Stephanie for Nikki Bella. No, I didn't. Yes, they could. Exactly. 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 And Nikki Bella's still in great shape, man. She looks good. She looks good. She looks good for her age. And her promos are pretty good. Look, man, stop asking me the same question over and over. No, no, no. Sorry, y'all. Have weird people coming in my chat. But the older guys and ladies are pretty competent. Should be used. Oh, yeah, for real. Yeah. But yeah, man, Nikki Bella. Yeah, know what I'm saying. I ain't like the third match they had. I said Nikki Bella might just come out on top. Cause the triple threat match, I said Nikki Bella might just win. The triple threat match, Nikki Bella definitely. I was like, she definitely got a chance at winning. But like I said, man, Stephanie Valkyrie is still my pick. I'm not turning on Stephanie for for Nikki. All I just said was that if Nikki Bella wins the title, you know what I'm saying, ain't tripping. That's all I said. And some fans on Facebook took my post out of content, know what I'm saying, took my post out of took my post the wrong way. And some commented said Nick they don't want Nikki Bella to win. I said, okay, that is your prerogative. And some saying that they shocked that I wanted Nikki Bella to win the title. I'm like, look, listen, man. I didn't turn on Stephanie Valkyrie for Nikki Bella. I just said she wins the damn title. I don't got a problem with it. So I'm trying to make it look like I turned on Stephanie Valkyrie. So this is why, like I said, I don't communicate with other wrestling fans. And I mean by tough love style is teaching them to have thick skin. Yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly. If we could get Nikki Bella to probably keep the women's world title for maybe at least like 100 days or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe a little longer than that. You know what I'm saying? Just to get some talent over. And she just to go around tooting her own horn as the women's world champion and bragging, constantly bragging about being the women's world champion and saying how much impact she got on today's women's division. You know what I'm saying? She could just keep bragging about that. Constantly rubbing it in these female wrestlers' face that, you know what I'm saying, she's the face of the women's division. You know what I'm saying? That they should bow down to her and stuff like that as the women's world champion. She paved the way. So then, Raquel can get fed up and finally, and she be the person to the throne, Nikki Bella for the women's world title. Then that opens up the door for Liv Morgan to turn on Raquel and stab her in the back. But first, Liv Morgan wins the women's Royal Rumble. But how she stabbed Raquel in the back is like they have a match or something like that. And Liv Morgan strikes in turn, and then she grabbed the microphone and tell Raquel that, you know what I'm saying, she's gonna be her opponent at WrestleMania 42. You know what I'm saying? And tell she been plotting on her the whole time, and she could tell that she's gonna be her opponent at WrestleMania 42. And that's how you can play that story up to Liv Morgan and Raquel going into WrestleMania. And Liv Morgan is the champion. Raquel is the champion, and Liv Morgan is the challenger. And who I would book to win is Liv Morgan. For one, I like Liv Morgan better than Raquel. Exactly, yeah, exactly, man. Bro, the Judgment Day should have been broke up. It's been watered down. So, like I said, Raquel have a match defending the title or whatever against somebody on Raw, and Liv Morgan strikes out of nowhere and turn on Liv Morgan. And turn on Raquel. Then she grabbed the microphone and tell her that she's been watching her for a long time and how she didn't like how she took her title opportunity. And she tells her that she's going to be her opponent at WrestleMania 42 for the women's world title. And then throw the microphone on Raquel, you know what I'm saying, chest. Throw the microphone down and walk out the ring. And the crowd gonna boo her. The crowd probably she gonna get, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, she would get a pop. Then that is, we got the strong heated feud between Liv Morgan and Raquel going into WrestleMania 42. And I would want Liv Morgan to win. For one, I like Liv Morgan better than Raquel, but let's be honest. Liv Morgan has never beaten Raquel before in a one-on-one match. That needs to happen. Every match that Liv Morgan and Raquel had one-on-one, Raquel won. Not to say they were bad matches because they wasn't. But Liv Morgan has never beaten Raquel. They had good matches, but Raquel won all of them. So Liv Morgan needs to get a redemption match against Raquel Rodriguez at WrestleMania 42. And she gets her first redemption match off Raquel Rodriguez by pinning her for the first time in her career. Also becoming a third-time women's world champion. But that's just me. That's what I would do. It's okay to disagree with me, but that's what I think. But yeah, man, I'm starting to like Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella, I don't care what nobody say. Y'all can hate on Nikki Bella all y'all want to. I wonder how long she's gonna be around. I wonder how long Nikki Bella's gonna be around. But yeah, man, Nikki Bella's character's been on point. She's been doing a great job. I mean, this is the highest I've ever spoke of Nikki Bella. That's why I'm doing a video. That's why I did a live stream this morning. It wouldn't hurt to see Nikki Bella defend her. And not just that, Nikki Bella we can also get a feud between Nikki Bella and AJ Lee. I mean, like I said, we can get a feud between those two. Someone agree with that idea, but it wouldn't that mean that'd be something new and improved. That'd be something new and improved. So yeah, just get Nikki Bella, to the be hold the title and defend it. She's a heel, so she's gonna win. She's gonna win dirty. Keep the title in a dirty fashion. There's nothing wrong with that. Also, it exposes how incompetent a majority of the people who are shoved down our throats. Exactly, man. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, man. Like I said, man, I don't agree with trends. I don't go with trends, man. I set the trends. Nah, I don't know what I'm saying. I don't follow the trends. I don't follow the trends, man. I set the trends. I speak my own mind about my wrestlers that I like, whether people dislike them or not. I don't follow trends. I set the trends. That's the problem with a lot of wrestling fans. They followers. A lot of these wrestling fans today are followers. They know what I'm saying, go with all the trends. They go with trends. Just because a lot of people like something don't mean I have to like it. And if you don't like it, they'll try to shame you for it. While decent people are left to faster on NXT, yet incompetents are on the main roster. Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, man, when I come up here and do my Russell Talk videos, man, I don't do these videos, man, just so fans can agree with me and like the stuff I talk about. Or well, if it's a certain wrestler. No, no, no. When I make videos, I do my own talks and I give my own takes. I don't care if they disagree or not. Cause this is my video, so just like somebody comments on my video talking, man, y'all really want Nikki Bella to win the women's world title. Okay, first of all, everybody is not you. I never said I wanted her to win it. I said if she wins it, I'm not tripping. But that's the problem. Fans get mad when you say you want certain wrestlers that they dislike to win a match or a championship or something like that. So that's the shit I be talking about. So it wouldn't have hurt for Nikki Bella to win the women's world title. That don't make me any less of a Stephanie Valkyrie fan. Because we could have really got something out of Nikki Bella being the women's world champion. We could have gotten something out of that. Just like fans hate on Maxine Dupree. saying she's a terrible wrestler, saying she's going to get exposed as the women's world champion. Meanwhile, Jade Cargill has already been exposed. Title for over maybe 61 or 62 days, and she still has not defended that damn title. But when the ones like me call out the obvious about her, I'm hating. I'm racist. I just hate black women. I'm nitpicking all that kind of shit. But y'all were quick. Y'all were so damn quick to jump on Tiffany Stratton and shit on her. Y'all so quick to jump on y'all so quick to jump on, you know what I'm saying? Y'all so quick to jump on Tiffany Stratton and shit on her and say she's a terrible champion. She need to give up the title, and Jade Cargill needs to be the one to win it from Tiffany Stratton. And now that Jade Cargill has done that, what the hell has Jade Cargill done since she's been the women's world champion? Not a damn thing. And people can say she can't help the way she's booked. I can make the same exact argument about Tiffany Stratton, but the only big damn difference is Tiffany Stratton was defending the title. But like I said, they shitted on Tiffany Stratton so bad and wanted Jade Cargill to win it. Shitted on Tiffany Stratton so bad and wanted Jade Cargill to win it. And now that she got it, what has she done with it? But yeah, I'm nitpicking. I'm nitpicking, and I'm finding a reason to hate on Jade Cargill. The fuck out of here, man. Just like Julia, she didn't defend the title that much. She didn't defend the title. And y'all were dumping on her left and right. But when it comes to Jade Cargill, oh nah, y'all want to be gatekeepers. Y'all want to be gatekeepers and don't want to call out the obvious. And if anybody else do it, they being racist. Y'all want to throw the race card. That's the shit I be talking about. Also, I noticed something about Stephanie, but she gets way too pushed quickly, yet has no personality, no facial expression, let alone any emotions to her. Also, the neck tattoo. If I could be honest about Stephanie's promos, yeah, she do need to work on her promos. Yeah, I can agree about that. And I'm a Stephanie Valkyrie fan. I can tell you that right. I'm a Stephanie fan because it ain't like Stephanie Valkyrie can't wrestle. She can wrestle. But yeah, she needs to work on her promos. She needs to work on her promos. So yeah, man. And people try to say the ones like me only is a fan of Stephanie because she got a fat ass and she does her signature move, the Devil's Kiss. Miss me with that shit. Miss me with that shit. She can wrestle. Do she needs to work on her promos? Yes, absolutely. Her promos are very dull. They're very, you know what I'm saying, dull. But what they got to do with her ring, you know what I'm saying, talent. What they got to do with her ring, talent? Absolutely nothing. So I tell the truth, man. Yeah, that's it. They don't know what the fuck they want no more. They don't know what they want no more. When I come up here and do Russell talk, man, I'm not following no damn trends. I set the trends. I have a mind of my own. Just like when everybody was all over Bianca Belair and stuff like that. I wasn't a fan of Bianca. I'm not a fan of Bianca. When everybody was all over Bianca Belair. When everybody was going to be going crazy over Bianca Belair and stuff, you know, when Bianca Belair was trending left and right. I wasn't trending with that shit because I'm not a fan of Bianca Belair. I don't have a dislike for her no more, but I'm not. I'm not. I never was a fan of Bianca Belair. I never was the biggest fan of Bianca Belair. When the ones like me said I want a fan of Bianca Belair, I got accused of being a racist every time. These marks these days are insane. People, they repeat the same mistakes, yet they expect different results. Exactly. Exactly. They don't know what the fuck they want no more, man. They don't know what they want no more. This is why this wrestling community needs voices like mine. Because I know what wrestling is. I know what wrestling today is mediocre. Is mediocre. Look how the male wrestlers be punching each other. They'll slap each other. When they need a punch, they'll slap each other. Then they'll ball their fists up like they punched them. Knowing damn well it was a slap. That's what Bret Hart was calling out. The product today, they're more stuck on character than actually wrestling. Look at that damn promo Braun Breaker did on CM Punk, and the fans were talking about Braun Breaker cooked CM Punk. What? Because he called him a bitch. I mean, seriously. Y'all call that y'all call that a damn a outstanding promo by Braun Breaker. Like I said before, man. Like I like I said before, wrestling back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, down to the 2000s, in mid 2000s were at its peak. One of the reasons why people started accepting one of the reasons why people started accepting mediocrity since Marks wanted Punk brand to as champ. Exactly, exactly. These fans nowadays have low key standard, bro. Exactly, man. They get on my they get on my nerves with these stupid ass ideas, man. Even down to these YouTubers that do podcasts. Like just Alex. I was watching YouTube one morning, and don't get me wrong, I watch his channel. He have a pretty good content, but some of his takes that he be saying and some of his, you know what I'm saying, ideas be fucking goofy. Some of his ideas be, you know what I'm saying, goofy. He come with some of the goofiest ideas sometimes. Like he talked about Mercedes Moné. You know Mercedes Moné, she dropped the TBS Women's title to Willow Nightingale. And not the biggest fan of Willow Nightingale, but I don't have a dislike for her. Willow Nightingale is okay with me, and I'm cool with her winning. I'm cool with her winning the TBS Women's Championship. But let's get back to what just Alex said about Mercedes Moné. He talks about how the fans, you know what I'm saying, will get upset and get mad about Mercedes Moné winning all these titles and all that shit. And he said that that's the purpose of them pushing her as a heel. I said, just Alex. First of damn all, she's winning all these unknown titles from all these ran down companies that nobody has ever fucking heard of. So come on, bro. Seriously. That's the dumbest take you ever said. I mean, look at Mercedes Monet character. Her character is cringe. She has a cringe ass character. Shitty promos. And she's a move spammer. She's not that good in the ring. She's a move spammer. Jamie Hayter exposed her in their match at Double or Nothing. Jamie Hayter carried her through that whole damn match. Mercedes Moné was spamming the whole move, was spamming the same move over and over again. Don't believe me? Watch the damn match between Jamie Hayter and Mercedes Moné at Double or Nothing. Booking character should have logical communications and believability as well as working smart. Right. Exactly. Like I said, this is why this wrestling community needs voices like mine. I've been watching wrestling since 91. Nobody's not going to tell me about wrestling. Yes, I've been watching wrestling since, you know what I'm saying, 91 during the golden era. That's how long I've been watching wrestling. Look how they fucked up WrestleMania 40. See, at WrestleMania 40, Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley should have been the match at WrestleMania due to what Rhea Ripley did to Liv Morgan. But no, Triple H, him showing favoritism to Rhea Ripley, him being the cook boy that he is of Rhea Ripley, showing favoritism to Rhea Ripley, including Becky Lynch. He gonna just give us Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch just because. No story between them whatsoever. The story was with Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. Although Liv Morgan eventually won the title, but it should have been against Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 40. And he fucked Liv Morgan over by putting the title back on Rhea Ripley when Liv Morgan should not have lost that feud to begin with. What was the whole purpose of the Liv Morgan revenge tour, Triple H? Even if I shit on those wrestlers, I always wanted what's good for them. I want them to injure themselves for those marks. Yeah, tell you, man. So yeah, Triple H show his favoritism. Liv Morgan should have went into WrestleMania 41 as Women's World Champion. He didn't even give her the chance to make new feuds with other female wrestlers. And I saw your video about 19 reasons why Rhea Ripley sucks. I agree with everything you said. She's definitely a whiny entitled crybaby. She can crash out. She can whine and cry like a damn 6-year old, and she automatically gets a title opportunity. I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree. But you want to hear something funny? I used to be a fan of Rhea Ripley a long time ago. I used to be a fan of Rhea Ripley a long time ago. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I used to be a fan of Rhea Ripley a long time ago. I stopped supporting her because I can't get behind her no more. She's highly overrated. She got stale. And somebody called me fake because I said I wasn't a fan of Rhea Ripley no more. How the fuck am I fake when I got a when I'm saying why I'm not a fan of hers no more? At least I got a reason. Fuck these fucking wrestling fans. Especially the Gen C wrestling fans. Rhea Ripley is overrated and she's cringe. She's very annoying. I'm not biased. I tell the truth. But when the ones like me tell the truth and call out the obvious, they can't handle it. Same shit with Bret Hart. Bret Hart tells the truth. He tells the truth, and they can't handle it. They call that man bitter and everything when he tells the truth about the wrestling product. When he talked about how all Gunther do is chops through his matches, fans want to say he always complaining and what? No, he told the fucking truth about Gunther. He told the truth. All Gunther does do is chops through his matches. When he called out Sheamus on how Sheamus don't punch in his matches, all he do is a bunch of clubbing blows, which is he do. They want to call him a crybaby. See, that's the thing. These marks can't handle people that's vocal and tell the truth because and tell them what they need to hear and not what they want to hear. And Bret Hart is one of them. Okay, if you're a fan of Gunther, cool. There's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, man, this. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, that's why I do my videos, man. I stay to myself. I don't follow no trends, man. I am the trend. I set the trend. I don't follow trends. I set the trends. Now, if it's a wrestler that's actually good in the ring and a lot of people like them and they trend on social media and I happen to like them too, yeah, that don't mean I'm setting the trend. I just like them like everybody else do. Gunther is the prime example of someone who shouldn't be allowed on TV. Oh, okay. I took your I took your I took your comment out of context. My fault. So yeah, man. I come up here, man, and I do these videos, man, and I give my best takes, man, about how the product can be done and how wrestlers should be booked. Because at this point, Triple H is not booking wrestlers properly. He's showing favoritism. He's showing favoritism. You know what I'm saying? So for the people, yeah, that's tripping, yeah, man, got so much to say about Bret Hart complaining and stuff like that, and Bret Hart is bitter, this and that, and the third, but they okay with CM Punk coming back and they support CM Punk when this dude a hypocrite. He shitted on the WWE division. It amazes me how such an incompetent buffoon like Gunther can be praised by Marks. He does a simple style yet still fucks it up. Exactly. It's these damn Gen Z fans, man. They cooked. They cooked. It's these new generational wrestling fans. These wrestling fans don't know what cool is, man. They don't know what cool is. Tell you, man. You know what I'm saying? These wrestling fans, man. They hypocrites. A lot of them hypocrites. They be all over the place. Now, if this was Shawn Michaels on the podcast, being vocal like Bret Hart and calling out the obvious, see, then they'll be okay with Shawn Michaels telling the truth, and they will believe Shawn Michaels. They will believe him. But because it's Bret Hart, it's a problem. It's a problem because he's telling the truth. Back when he left in 2014, it's called a job abandonment. Yeah, So yeah, man, that's the thing. These fans they come up with some of the goofiest ass ideas, man, and got such an issue and would have had and didn't want Nikki Bella to win the title, which is it wouldn't like I said, it wouldn't have been a fucking bad idea. It wouldn't have been a bad idea. Definitely wouldn't have been a bad idea. Putting a title on Nikki Bella, that would have been something new and improved because her character is already on point. Her heel character is on point. This is the best I've seen Nikki Bella's heel character in a long time. This is the best I've seen Nikki's heel character in a long time. And that's a whole fact. Fans can say what they want to say. I wouldn't have mind Nikki Bella winning the strap. But of course, fans are going to cry and bitch it up. They were going to cry and bitch it up. No, no, I'm saying all that kind of shit. Fuck out of here, man. And the person to win the title for Nikki Bella is Raquel. She finally wins it from Nikki Bella. Exactly. These fans nowadays are men, children, and women, children. Exactly. 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 30 and 40 and 50-year-old men and women trapped in 8-year-old and 9-year-olds kids' bodies. Men, children, and women, children nowadays. Exactly. Like I said, 30, 40, 50 year 30, 40, 30, 40, 50-year-old men and women trapped in 6-year-old kids' bodies. Cry like a bunch of 6-year-olds when they don't get what they want. Like Cody Rhodes. They cried on fucking Twitter sending death threats to the Rock Daughter and shit. And they actually gonna change it. Man, Cody wouldn't have finished shit if it were me. I promise. He wouldn't have finished shit. We would have got Roman Reigns. We would have got The Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40, and that would have been final. Not to say Cody wouldn't finish. I would have had Cody finish the story, but would have been after WrestleMania when The Rock had to relinquish the title due to the vicious attack on. Roman Reigns. You know what I'm saying? Did. You know what I'm saying? I would have The Rock would have relinquished the title due to the vicious The Rock would I would you know what I'm saying The Rock would relinquish the title due to the you know what I'm saying vicious attack at Roman Reigns. So yeah, I would have had The Rock to relinquish the title at the WrestleMania 40 due to the vicious attack by Roman Reigns. You know what I'm saying? And then Cody, I would have booked the tournament. Cody would have won the tournament and finally finished the story. There. They hate on Vince McMahon, yet if it wasn't for him, wrestling wouldn't be. Yeah, okay. Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. Not to disagree with your take. Vince McMahon during the early 90s, mid 90s, late 90s, down to the 2000s and mid 2000s, Vince McMahon told great story. Vince McMahon told great stories and booked great matches. But when the PG era came in, Vince McMahon lost his touch at booking matches. He lost his touch. His bookies went completely downhill and they got worse and worse over the years. We were saying the same shit over and over again. All the pay-per-view matches was predictable. You knew who was going to win and you knew who was going to lose. Every now and then, Vince McMahon would give us a swerve. Don't even get me started on Raw and SmackDown. I would fall asleep on that shit sometimes. That's how boring it was because we saw the same damn stories over and over. So Vince McMahon became a terrible booker when the PG era came in. So I can't give Vince McMahon credit during the PG era. But for the golden era, new generation era, attitude era, and ruthless aggression era, that's when Vince McMahon was at his peak at booking matches. He was at his peak. When PG era came in, Vince McMahon bookings went completely downhill. So I'm being honest, bro. I'm being honest. So yeah, man. So people saying they want Vince McMahon to return. No, hell no. That would be like opening up a can of worms. And off top of that, Vince McMahon is like 80 years old. He's almost 80 years old. No, let that no. Bring him back for what he's already up in age. And fans get mad about John Cena losing his last match. Plenty of wrestlers did. Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels. You said Kurt Angle twice. Goldberg and Ric Flair did too. Yeah, but him tapping out, they could have had him to look. I didn't mind him losing. Period. Don't get me wrong. But him tapping out, no, if he had to book him to lose like that now. But I didn't mind him losing. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he would have lost to Gunther pinning him or making him pass out instead of tap out, okay, cool. But him tapping out, yeah, that was a bit fucked up. But the way the fans have been acting by sending death threats to Triple H, okay, now y'all taking it too damn far. Come on, now, it ain't that deep. But I get your point. I get your point. I'm not knocking what you're saying. Read the full version of my comment. You'll understand fully. Oh no, I got you, man. Like I said, I give Vince McMahon credit on the eras of wrestling, like like the golden era, new generation era, attitude era, and ruthless aggression era. Yeah, he told great stories. But like I said, during the PG era, man, Vince McMahon, he went downhill. They hate on Vince McMahon if it wasn't. So I'm not knocking what you're saying, bro. I mean, yeah. But like I said, man, you know, today's era, today's era of wrestling, man, is mediocre. These fans come up with some of the goofiest ass ideas, man, and I can even some of these YouTubers with podcasts and have, you know what I'm saying, a tremendous amount of subscribers. I'm talking about 305K. I'm talking about these YouTubers, man, that has a great big, you know what I'm saying, wrestling account. They got a great big wrestling account with a bunch of subscribers, and they come up with some of the goofiest ideas, man. They come up with some of the goofiest ideas. I'd be like, man, come on now. Nah. This is why, man, if I could be a booker and wrestler, man, I would change the wrestling content. I would change it. I would make it worth watching again. I would make it worth watching again. For the people who stop watching, I would make it worth watching again. Nothing like watching some good wrestling matches, man, when it's a pay-per-view. Nothing like watching a good wrestling matches, man. Especially when it's a pay-per-view. And I want to go out, man, order me a pizza, buy me a case of damn Mountain Dew Cold Red, Coca-Colas or Tahitian, you know, or Pepsi. You know what I'm saying? You get with your boys, man. Y'all watch wrestling. Telling you, nothing like it. Order some Chinese food. I like more so like pizza. Chinese food one of my favorites too, but I like pizza better. But anyway, you get my drift. I would make wrestling like really worth watching again. The booking should be asked if this was real, how would it go? Much like Russo said on his pod. Vince Russo can have some. Vince Russo, yeah. Somebody else who give pretty good takes about wrestling. Stevie Richards. He's a nut. I watch his podcast. He gives some good takes about wrestling. Now, like I said, he don't everything he said I don't agree with. Same thing with Vince Russo. But these guys knows how to book matches. Even down to Conan and them. They know what the wrestling product is like today. You can tell that shit mediocre to them. But they give great takes about wrestling. And don't get me wrong, Stevie Richards, he was a jobbing professional. They gave him some stupid gimmicks. Probably one of the okay gimmick they gave him was the right to censor gimmick. But Stevie Richards won't know. What I'm saying, he won't no wrestler that people will like get behind and support. Get behind and be like a champion. But he has a pretty good solid content. He has a pretty good solid podcast. And I watch Stevie Richards' podcast. He gives some great takes about wrestling. He definitely gives some great takes about wrestling, and I fuck with his content. I fuck with his content. You know what I'm saying? And Vince Russo do too. They always on the podcast one time talking about wrestling. So yeah, man. So yeah, man. I just want to come up here, man, and say that I'm starting to like Nikki Bella. I'm starting to like Nikki Bella a little more now. Her heel character is on point. It wouldn't have hurt for her to win the women's world title. I know a lot of fans would have bitched it up, but oh well, to hell with them. You got these YouTubers, man, that come up with some of the goofiest ass ideas, man, and I'm like, yeah, I don't agree with everything Vince Russo said, but for the most part, man, Vince Russo has a solid content. I'm subscribed to his channel too. I think Vince Russo was once following me on Twitter. I don't think he still is. He might be. But yeah, Vince Russo, yeah, man. Vince Russo, yeah. Nah, man, these wrestlers, these wrestling fans, man, they really be irritating me. Some say Nikki Bella should have won the world title. You know what I'm saying? I went for Stephanie to retain, but like I said, if Nikki would have won, I wouldn't have been tripping. If Raquel would have won, I wouldn't have tripped because I do like Raquel. Raquel Rodriguez ain't one of my favorites, but I do like her. And I like Nikki Bella too, to say the least. I like Nikki Bella too. So Nikki Bella winning the title, man, that wouldn't have been a bad call. I wouldn't have been tripping. That wouldn't have been a bad call at all. Cause if you was gonna go ahead and put the title on Nikki Bella, the women's triple threat match on Monday Night Raw would have been the perfect call. If you was gonna put the strap on Nikki Bella, the women's triple threat match on Monday Night Raw, you know what I'm saying, would have been a perfect call. That would have been the perfect time to do it. That would have been the perfect time to do it. And if, you know what I'm saying? So, and majority of the half of the fans would have bought into it because Nikki Bella has a huge fan base. She has a huge fan base, despite the other half that hates on her. But For the most part, she has a huge fan base. She has a gigantic a fan base. So I would have been one of the ones that would have been all for her being the women's world champion. Like I said, she has a podcast on YouTube. She can go on her podcast with the women's world title, constantly bragging and saying how she paved the way for all these females wrestling in today's wrestling, and saying how they're gonna put some respect on her name as the women's world champion. Then Raquel can be the one to throw her for the women's world title. Liv Morgan wins the women's Royal Rumble. She turns on Raquel, then put her on notice that she's coming after her for the, know what I'm saying, women's world strap. Then they face off at WrestleMania 42. Liv Morgan, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's how they could do it. Raquel Rodriguez be the person to the throne. Raquel Rodriguez be the person to the throne. Nikki Bella for the women's world title. Then, then, Liv Morgan finally pulled the trigger and turns on Raquel and put her on notice that she's coming at that she's going to be her challenger for the women's world title at WrestleMania 42. Yeah, so then they face off at WrestleMania 42. Liv Morgan gets her first redemption match against Raquel Rodriguez by pinning her for the first time in her career, also dethroning her for the women's world title for a third time. She wins her third championship against Raquel Rodriguez in a redemption match by pinning her for the first time in her career and winning the women's world title for a third time. So Russo see things from TV writer's perspective, not a mark-minded one like Triple H. Exactly. So I'm gonna go on and get up out of here, man. I just want to do this video, man, just to let it be known that I like Nikki Bella now. I like her. So with that being said, it's your boy Hitman D, and I'm gonna sign out.